Today, we want to talk about keeping a healthy work-life balance whilst still working from home. Carol.
Yeah, a challenge, Prash, a real challenge, quite honestly, because we weren't necessarily made to work at home. We went to work. We were used to getting up in the morning at 6 o'clock, going to work, etc., etc., and coming home in the evening. All of a sudden, we're thrown in at the deep end, and we have to work from home. So you may be looking at things like childcare issues, homeschooling. Some schools are going back 1st of June. Not everybody is, so you're managing that. You may be managing your partner, and they are living at home with you 24/7. Well, when you got married, you didn't necessarily think you were going to be together 24/7. And it is a challenge for many. Let me tell you, there is many relationship challenges along the way. And so you start taking yourself into binge eating and drinking and all that kind of stuff. So that can happen. So I think it's really important at times like this to be aware of more, your mornings, your lunch times, and your evenings, to make sure that you're getting time for you to make sure that you're looking out for yourself and your own health and well-being and other members of the family, because you may have to negotiate with them. What is it that you want? What is it that I want? And to negotiate with them accordingly. But what do you think about it, Prash?
I totally agree that there needs to be some healthy balances. And I think for me, I like to see this as a time to bring out our Indiana Jones. This is the time where we can be the inner adventurer. And I'll say that in two ways. For any of us, whether we're employed, self-employed, whichever phase we are in our career, this is an opportunity for us to experience how it can be to uncover new aspects of ourselves and how we interact, our dynamics with our household. And it gives us a chance to actually start to heal certain wounds that may have existed, to build certain relationships that were neglected, including the relationship with ourselves. And I'm getting a little bit woo-woo here, but really now is as great a time as ever to introspect, to know thyself, to be able to dive within and become our own inner Indiana Jones, the adventurer who is not as scared to excavate and uncover those things that have been lying inside, those old dreams that have been forgotten about, or those old demons that needed to be faced. And what better time to do it when we have some time at home, as long as we balance things up. Back to you, Claire.
Yeah,
Carol.
I think what you've said there, Prash, is really relevant, highly relevant. We also need to think about the people that we're living with, because therefore you're not used to being with somebody 24/7. You'd say it to people retire. They say, the wife or the husband, whoever's retiring, say, I married you for life, but not for lunch. And that is relevant, because all of a sudden, husbands and wives are saying, well, what's for lunch? What do you mean, what's for lunch? I don't do lunch, I do dinner. And it's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, as far as childcare is concerned, it's all about, and let's look at some tips now as to what could actually help the situation. It's all about, actually, if you're living by yourself, let's look at people living by themselves. Living by yourself is going to maybe a challenge. If it is, and you want to speak to people, then you have to be proactive. So
Yes.
my first tip is be proactive if you're living by yourself. My second tip is that negotiate with your partner, husband, wife, friend, whoever it's going to be, whatever challenges there are at the moment, actually negotiate with them. Find out what is it that their needs are, what is it your needs are. And actually my third one is to look at what it is in terms of, I need to get out, I need to go for a walk. Book that time. Book that time not only for yourself, but book that time with your partner. You do your walking then, I do my walking now. It's about negotiation, compromise, and caring for each other. So over to you, Prash. Now, what do you think?
Thanks, Carol. And just to add to that, of course, as Carol is talking about booking time, that of course extends to any dependents that we have, elders or children, to make sure that that time is factored in, and especially for those of us who are having to deal with homeschooling, parenting, taking turns and not assuming that the other partner will handle it, or if you're solo, just finding ways to even start to see our children as little adults, that give them some trust, that we would understand, and that they would understand to a degree what we're saying. Bring them in and make them co-participants. Now, having said that, I want to share a couple of additional tips to yourself. And those are, for me, Carol, firstly, a morning routine. And by now, most of us this far into the lockdown should have a morning routine. But a morning routine, for me, I call it the 20-20-20 principle. 20 minutes of movement, some sort of movement in the morning. 20 minutes of mind fuel before you feed the body and fuel have something for the mind. That could be a podcast, it could be some kind of reading, but it's something that really inspires and creates innovation, fires up your BDNF factory again. More on that on a future episode. And lastly, 20 minutes of meditation or journaling, that reflection, planning for the day ahead. That's one tip. Set up a morning routine if it's not already there. Try the 20-20-20 or 10-10-10. And one other thing, binge. Where you mentioned this, binge watching Netflix and all that, we can all do that. But I would like to invite you, if you're watching this, to binge on a new hobby or a new practice, maybe something you can do with a family member, so you start to bring them into it as well. Something that you could do together as a family or as a household unit, or maybe by yourself. It could be a new language, something to do with the arts, music, or an outdoor pursuit. And here are some of the best benefits for this. It increases your dopamine, your serotonin levels, your endorphins are raised. It improves cognition, improves your immune system, and ultimately it improves innovation and productivity, stuff that I always love helping clients with. And that and so many other reasons, I think, added to the ones that you said, Carol, are reasons why this work-life balance is so important. I guess that's it from me. Carol, any last words?
No, it's fine for me as well. Just look after yourself, look after your health and well-being, and look after the family, and talk and communicate.
Thank you, Carol. And folks, as always, if you have any ideas, tips, or suggestions to add to this work-life balance narrative, feel free to shoot them in. We can all benefit, I'm sure, if we share these tips with one another. And let us know if there's any particular pressing topical matter you would like us to cover on Behind the Lens. That's it from me as well. Prash, take care. Peace out.
And bye from me as well. Bye for now.
Bye for now.